2024. The time is 7:30 p.m. If you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, thank you. First up on the agenda, we have our presentations portion, and we have a certificate of appreciation for an outgoing commission member. So I will relinquish to Mayor Hushauer.
Test, test. Judy, could you please come up? This is Judy Stoll. Judy Stoll is on the Board of Appeals, and you probably don't recognize her because she is so good at her job that she hasn't brought any notoriety to herself. She goes in, she thinks all the way through everything, and then votes accordingly. So it's been great to have Judy on the Board of Appeals, and we'd like to offer this certificate of recognition because Judy is unfortunately leaving us, but fortunately for her, I think you're moving somewhere nice, right?
To Kent Island, yeah.
Kent Island, okay, so heading over to the Eastern Shore. And so we'd like to thank her for somewhere around 6 to 7 years on the Board of Appeals with this certificate of recognition, and I'll go and read it. From the town of Mount Airy to Judy Stoll, Board of Appeals, 2016 to 2024. In recognition of your devoted, hardworking, and selfless service as a Board of Appeals member, the time and effort you have given to the town is greatly appreciated. It is volunteers like you that make Mount Airy what it is today. And we also have a little gift for you.
Thank you.
We went Dunkin' because they finally reopened.
They finally reopened.
So we know there's Dunkin' on the Eastern Shore.
There is.
If you'd like to make some comments, you can. Or...
Oh, thank you. Thanks very much. When I started, I was a realtor, and so I was busy a lot, but I wanted to be able to bring my knowledge from real estate to the Board of Appeals, and it's really helped a lot. But now I'm retired. My husband works in Annapolis, so we're moving closer to him, to where he works. And so I just really appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the town and to make decisions that affect the way that we run our town. And it's been great. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Greatly.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Just make one final comment here. Don't go too far, John. It's a quick comment. So I've been invited to the VFW monthly meeting, so I'm going to be leaving the council meeting and going over there and talking to them about some things going on in town, and then I'll be back here for the at least the closed session of the meeting. So thank you. And John, you're on. Thank you, John.
All right, next up on the agenda for tonight, we have our public comment portion. Does anyone here in the audience wish to speak for public comment? There's Ms. Kelly. All right, feel free. 2 to 3 minutes is fine. That works for you.
I'm not going to take that long. I'm J.D. Kelly. I am the race director for the Mount Airy Mile, and I'm coming up here to explain everything about what to expect this Saturday. First, I want to thank the town for allowing us to be here. That money goes into a foundation that helps people with extraordinary medical costs. And right now, times are tough for everybody. And so that money is going to help people that's only in our community. I want to thank the police. I want to thank the Civil Air Patrol. I want to thank the town and the businesses along Main Street that are going to be supporting the athletes as they come by. If you wanted to sign up, I don't know if everybody in the world outside of this room can see or hear that if you want to sign up, you can still sign up all the way up until race day. on Run Sign Up online, closes out on the 8th. So you just type in the cursor on the Safari Mount Airy Mile and it pops up. Or you can sign up at the brewery on Friday, 5 to 7 when the packet pickup is. Or you can sign up at the race site at Anita's when it's at the start of the race before 8:30. The road closures, we've already got them approved by the state, by the town, and we have that figured out. And if you wanted to volunteer, if you don't want to participate, you're more welcome to participate. If you want to volunteer, we can always use them. So just email me at coachjayde@gmail.com, and I will find a spot for you to help. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Can I
David.
ask her a quick question while she's still at the microphone? So I want to say that again and repeat. Anybody who's signed up packet pickup at Liquidity,
Liquidity,
Friday 5 to 7.
right.
And I've had a lot of people say to me, oh, I'm not a runner.
You can bring your dog. You can bring your cat if you can keep it on a leash. You can, and it's stroller friendly. It's walk. Bring your best self. If you wanted to walk backwards, jog, jump rope, hula hoop, doesn't matter. Just come down here, pay your money to get into the event, and know that it goes to a good cause.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to point out, that walkers are welcome.
Awesome. Any other
I
questions?
want to thank Liquidity for supporting me in this because they're going to be hosting the end of the race, and they've been helping me with marketing it too. Thank you.
JD, you don't get off this easy, sorry. Just to make much, I know that, I believe our fellow council member, Mr. Evans here, has signed up his family, and I'm planning on signing up. But last time I did it, there was a shuttle bus from Liquidity back up to the parking lot. Is that going to happen again?
I'm not aware of that,
Okay, no problem, just so I
Yeah.
know.
but if you, I can give you a ride in my
Okay,
Jeep.
that's fine, cool. I can walk one way since it's downhill. Back up might be hard.
There'll be parking. If you really wanted to park somewhere in between, the Calvary Church has offered their parking lot, and where you can park at the municipal parking lot and then walk up and then come down. You're having more fresh going up than coming back.
And Calvary Church might be a good option, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other speakers? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. Next up, we have our approval of council meeting minutes and closed minutes. We will start with the July 2024 Town Council meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the July Town Council meeting.
All right, I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor to approve July 2024 Town Council meeting minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Then we have our July 2024 public hearing minutes for Charter Amendment Resolution 2024-2 regarding urban renewal. I will make a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor to approve our public hearing minutes from July 2024, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Next up, we have July 2024 closed meeting minutes regarding legal advice for a public works agreement. Do we have a motion?
I make the motion to approve the meetings for July closed meeting minutes regarding the Public Works Agreement.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? All right, approval for July 2024 closed meeting minutes for the Public Works Agreement. If you agree, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and last up, we have our July 2024 closed meeting minutes with the subject of litigation. I will make a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor of approving July 2024 closed meeting minutes under subject litigation, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you guys very much. Next up, we have our Civil Air Patrol report with Major Wolf. How you doing, Major?
Good evening. This is our report for July 2024. For mission significant activities, members of the squadron continue to support the Wings Bay Patrol mission, flying circuits around the Chesapeake Bay in support of the Coast Guard and other agencies. We had several cadets complete encampment, which was held at Camp Frederick up in Reisterstown, and another one that attended the Pennsylvania encampment up at Fort Indiantown Gap. We also had several members of the squadron that provided staff support to these events. And finally, we had some cadets that completed several hours of cybersecurity training in preparation for the upcoming Cyber Patriot competition. Under community support, the squadron was represented by our van in the American Spirit Parade on July 1st. At the same time, we had members joining two other squadrons and providing a general information session on Civil Air Patrol at the Eldersburg Library. We also assist with the cleanup and recovery at the carnival grounds following the town's fireworks celebration. And even though we left, I want to thank the mayor for coming out and seeing us and the generous donation from the town and recognition of our support for that. For qualifications and achievements, we had one cadet earn solo wings for completing a solo flight in a glider, and another earned pre-solo wings for demonstrated capability during powered flight academies that they attended. Those two cadets attended those flight academies. The Powered Flight Academy cadet completed 15 hours of flight time, with the Glider Academy cadet completing 12 hours of flight time. We also had one cadet attend a advanced leadership school in Michigan, and another attended a civil engineering school in Florida. Two of our cadets, besides those two, participated in powered orientation flights. We have one new senior member join the squadron, and our ground team remains fully mission capable, as well as our personnel supporting SUAS and mission base. I'm not going to read this entire list of everything we have coming up because we are entering our very busy season, but we'll be doing a lot of support for the town, especially this week with National Night Out tomorrow, the Monterey Mile, and the Camp Night this weekend. We're also going to be prepping for cadets going back to school and support with our Glenelg partnership there, and we have a SARX coming up with the wing in September. Pending your questions, that's my report for this month.
Any questions? I just want to say thank you very much for the cleanup effort after the July 3rd fireworks. Something like that is, invaluable to the town. So we appreciate your support with that and everything else you guys do.
Absolutely.
Good luck in the busy season coming up.
We've seen everybody a lot, I think so. We'll see you.
Thank you very much, Major.
All right, thank you.
All right, next up, we have our Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company report with Mr. Hurd. How you doing, bud?
Good. Good evening, everyone. Well, last week we had our carnival. I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us. We had a challenging week, but hopefully we'll make a couple dollars in our efforts this past week. Weather was not very cooperative with the heat, the rain. It was very challenging, but guess what? We couldn't put it on without the volunteers of the town of Mount Airy, as well as the community members, the businesses, as well as our members of the fire company. I mean, without those folks, we couldn't even put on a carnival. I mean, if you think about it, it approximately takes about 130 folks to put on a carnival. And with our members about 40 to 45, we need the volunteers, and we had a lot of support for them. Even though it didn't quite turn out like we wanted, it was tough, but we got her done, and we'll make a couple dollars for the fire company. So we appreciate the town and the volunteers that came out and supported us. So this is the July report. We ran 256 calls total, 181 first due for rescue, 23 fire. Mutual aid, we had 43. Mutual aid, we had 10. In Carroll, we had 165. Frederick, 83. Howard, 5. Montgomery, 3. Now, Box 113, like we spoke about before, is lower in. And the Wildwood community, we had 35 EMS. Box 114 was 9, which was Pleasant View Nursing Home. Box 11, which is right downtown, is 24 EMS, 1 fire. Box 115, which is the other side of Mount Airy and the Frederick County side, had 25 EMS, 4 fire. Express Care, we actually had 14 calls to service over there on the EMS. Box 13 was 10 EMS, 3 fire. Box 14 was 11 EMS, 1 fire. And Box 15 was 4 EMS and 2 fire. So we're busy, but you know what, we're getting it done, and luckily for whatever reason, whenever we have an ambulance call, it goes back to back most of the time. So meanwhile, we're reaching out for our friends from south or west to come assist, the town to get the apparatus out, to cover care to the community. But, that's what we're here. We provide mutual aid to them, they provide mutual aid for us. So that's the July report. Any questions for me?
Any questions?
Hey, Matt, thank you for the carnival and stuff. I know I was there several days last week in the ticket booth. It was fun.
Hot. It was
hot, and it was
hot
fun,
and rainy. Hot and rainy. It was tough. Yes.
But it was nice. But 2 things here. Do you mind printing out the report and giving us a copy of it?
Not a problem.
From moving
very,
forward.
very easy to do. Absolutely. We can
And
definitely
then
do
the
that.
definition of what the boxes are so we can get that ingrained into our brain here. And second, is there a way to do it when, just to mention, when the call, I guess I want to say when both our ambulances are out and we have to get I want to say, support from a surrounding,
Mutual aid, so to
a
speak.
mutual aid call when that happens, or just the total number of mutual aid calls?
So like I reported, so the mutual aid, or no, actually, when it came in to assist Mount Airy folks, we can work on that. Yes, that's another part of the report we can pull. We can share that with you, yes.
Yeah, if you don't, because I just want to make sure we have the data so we can start requesting, when we have to beg and plead with the county for more services for you or support, at least we have the numbers to back it up.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all documented, so yes, we can definitely provide that.
All
Absolutely.
right, cool. Thank you, Matt.
Got it. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. All right, next up, we have our Mount Airy Police Department report by Chief Ginevra.
Good evening, everybody. Chief Ginevra, Mount Airy Police Department. For our community outreach, July 1st, we had the Spirit Parade. July 3rd, we had the Mount Airy fireworks, as everyone's spoken about. July 8th through the 12th for our community outreach, Senior Officer Betcher participated in Camp Cops, which is hosted by the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, which is a great opportunity for a lot of young kids in itself to be a part of the environment, to see what police officers do. And that is with surrounding agencies in itself. Mount Airy got to participate, Sykesville State's Attorney's Office, Carroll County Sheriff's Department, Maryland State Police, Hampstead, Manchester. So each agency in itself got to supply an officer to go to this event. And the event in itself, they got to do things from BB guns, bow and arrows, learning a little about firearms safety. The crime lab techs were out there and stuff like that. So they got to see a bunch of different things along with the apparatus. So it was a nice break for Officer Betcher to participate in that event. On July 23rd, myself and Officer Betcher, we gave a tour of the station. And on July 25th, K-9 Officer Everts gave a special tour to some people that were from out of town. For recruitment, we are still successfully completing our lateral candidate, and hopefully we should have that individual by the end of August. That's what I'm banking on. And July 29th, we conducted our panel interviews for some new recruits, 3 of them. And July, again, we did our lieutenant candidate. A lieutenant candidate has been chosen and has accepted a conditional job offer, and will be running the gauntlet through that process. For Officer Everts, our K-9 deployment, Officer Everts had deployed Paisley for our town officers 3 times, resulting in the seizure of 3 narcotic arrests, which are continuously pending investigations on that. For our upcoming events, Matt spoke about it, I believe, in Major Rolfe, that we have our National Night Out, which is tomorrow over at the Carnival Grounds. It's from 5 to 8 p.m. It's a good opportunity for some folks to come out and meet some of the town officers, the new and the ones that have been here from the beginning. It's a free event. There'll be hot dogs, water, and some chips. I have 2 wonderful ladies that have been helping me through this event in itself, so put a lot of time and effort into that between myself and those 2 wonderful ladies helping me. So again, try to come out, see the event. It's over at the Carnival Grounds, again, between 5 and 8 p.m. Also, I know the town here has the camp night over at Watkins Park on the 10th, and also it was stated earlier this evening, also we have that Mount Airy Mile, and that's between 8 and 10 a.m. Myself and officers, and along with the Civil Air Patrol and some other volunteers, will have the road blocked off. So we do ask for some patience, that when the town, people are trying to get to one point from one end of Main Street to the other, please be mindful. We're not trying to inconvenience anyone, but we are trying to run an event, and safety is the utmost importance. So please, again, be a little patient for the event. It's from 8 to 10 a.m. and it ends over at Liquidality on the Ale Works there. As noted on our report too, there is a slight increase in calls. For this month was 493 compared to last year of 439. And again, those calls can be self-initiated from the officers. I do want to make note again in itself, I've addressed it several times, that we do not monitor social media. It's myself and one other person when we do have an opportunity to post things through the police department or monitor the town's information. That information is disseminated to me, and it's placed out there immediately as soon as we can to distribute the information, whether it's a town emergency like we just had a few days back with the power outage in itself. Again, a little patience with everyone. I know everyone's trying to go everywhere, but again, it's safety, not only for the town residents, all the businesses that are working, and not only that, most respectfully, the officers that are out there in the street directing traffic. It's a coordinated effort. Carroll County Sheriff's Department sent me some deputies along with Maryland State Police and some of the officers. We just happened to be so lucky that day that the Fireman's Carnival is going on and the officers were coming in for later deployment. If not, we would have probably had to make some phone calls. So it did work out. Again, patience. I know everyone's trying to get somewhere. If an officer is directing somebody in a certain direction, no offense, ladies and gentlemen, again, it's a safety reason. The officer doesn't have time to sit and talk about why they're sending you in a certain direction. Just follow what the officer's recommending. We'll get you where you need to go. With that, and again, back to the social network, we don't monitor it, and if we do, I try to immediately address any of those issues. And during the nighttime, the Mount Airy Police Station is not manned. I know it may give the appearance with some of the vehicles, and that's with us doing our recruitment, that there gives the appearance that somebody is at the station. That is not always the cause unless the officer is on a quick break, eating dinner, or doing a report or investigation in itself. There's a number on the door. Please call the number and dispatch will send an officer to your location. But best of all, and again, if you want to get a hold of an officer, there's a problem, it's 911. Thank you.
All right, any questions for Chief Ginevra?
Just more thank yous than anything else, Council President. First off, as you mentioned, we did have the recent power outage. I was going to thank you and your department for directing traffic and making sure that everyone was safe and the community was safe during that time period. And I also want to point out something that's in our packet that I don't believe you pointed out, but it shows the type of police force that we have. That it was a thank you letter from, I believe, a Mount Airy family that is thanking you for helping a son in or I guess an automobile accident or some form of accident they had. And they just says, please know your service to this community is always appreciated. So I just wanted to point that out too, that you do such a wonderful job that the in times of need that people actually thank you for it later. So thank you again, and thank you for all the officers.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Councilmember Demoter?
Yes, and kind of following up, I want to thank you as well. I'm looking at your monthly report, and I really appreciate the operational plan in terms of traffic surveillance and enforcement. I mean, you're focusing on North and South Main Street, Rising Ridge Road, Park Avenue, Prospect Road. These are all really the high volume roads within Mount Airy. Main Street especially, I mean, that's the #1 area of concern in the 2020 community survey was traffic safety on Main Street. So I know we're surveying the entire town, and you do that, but I do like to see that you're focusing on the areas that are of a greater concern to many, many of our citizens. So I appreciate that enforcement effort. And then again, how you are now breaking out all of the stops on page 3 so we can see exactly where the citations and the warnings and such are being issued and the nature of the stops and where. So appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Next up, we're on to the mayor, council, and staff reports. First up would be Mayor Hushhour. We all do have copies of his report. So if you have any questions, I would follow up with him when he returns. We will then move on to our Recreation and Parks Board, Beautification Commission, and the Flatiron Task Force with Council Secretary Galetti.
Thank you. I will start with the Flatiron. So there was not a meeting in July, but the various committees from the Flatiron Task Force are still working diligently. There are steps being taken to get the Flatiron ready for potential upcoming open houses. So stay tuned and stay tuned for hopefully some upcoming open houses. Beautification will meet again on Tuesday, August 20th, 7 o'clock Town Hall. as always, they're weeding, cleaning, and getting ready for fall planting. So beautification is going nonstop. I believe they were working around Flatiron, and I do know that we had people around Flatiron today weeding and getting plants in. Beautification, anybody's welcome to attend, and it's a really quick meeting if you're looking for a commission to get on. Parks and Rec meets the third Thursday of every month. A lot going on with Parks and Rec. I know the signs are in for Windy Ridge, so they'll be going up. There was something they asked me to bring up last month that I forgot, and I apologize. For the dog park, they are clearing out toys that are being left at the dog park. There's been an issue with being unsanitary, being a health issue, being a choking hazard. So please do not leave your toys at the dog park for other dogs to play with. They will be removed and thrown away. So that is a safety concern. If you have any questions, you can always call and talk to the people at Town Hall. And, Parks and Rec, a lot going on. So the fields are being weeded, removing rocks from Upper Twin Ridge, getting fields ready for the fall. There was more discussion at the last meeting about the field allocation. We had a pretty in-depth conversation. You can watch that online about that. And possibly, the good news is that Maya and Fort County are working together. They're working together, Bob King. So I appreciate that they're doing that, and I know Parks and Rec really appreciates that. They're working together to make sure every child in this town has fair access to fields. And what else? A lot of other details I won't share because you can watch it, but I was asked to share this. So as you know, we've got the Mount Airy Mile this Saturday. You do not have to be a runner. Bring your family, bring your kids, get your coffee, walk down Main Street. You can run, you can jog, you can walk, you can bring your dogs, as long as they're, in control. Oh, yes, I will probably be bringing Meatball. And camp night, August 10th, 5 o'clock, Watkins Park. I'm not sure if they've told what the movie is yet, so you'll just have to wait and be surprised, because I do know they finally voted on the movie. So come for camp night. Celebrate Mount Airy, Saturday, August 31st, 5 to 8, downtown Mount Airy, celebrating local organizations featuring live music and entertainment. Oops, sorry. And then the geology walks are back. So if you're interested in the geology walks, there'll be 2 more in September. Please call, I'm not going to read this email, call Town Hall and ask for the parks manager, because you do need to sign up ahead of time for the geology walks, because there's limited spaces available. And that concludes my reports.
All right, thank you. Real quick, the Mount Airy Mile, will that be rain or shine?
Yes, it will be rain or shine, I would assume, unless there is thunder and lightning.
Okay.
Because we've run races in the pouring rain. Even if it's pouring rain, it's like a football game. We'll still play
Not have
unless
fun, let's go.
there's thunder and lightning. The water will drain right down Main Street, so you'll be fine, right? You'll be there. All right, and thank you for that, too.
All right, next up, we have our Planning Commission with Councilmember Evans.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. The Carroll County Planning Liaison was not in attendance. She was sick. Our Frederick County Liaison gave us a few points for information regarding the transmission line. Get in touch with the county, reach out to them. He didn't have a lot of information regarding that. House Bill 2412, initiated by Councilmember McKay regarding a moratorium due to severe overcrowding of schools in Frederick County, goes in front of their council on August 21st. The Alpine Development in Linganore with 488 age-restricted home goes in front of the PC on August 14th, and he announced that this was his last meeting with us as he's going back to Miami to finish his graduate school. So we'll have a new liaison, I'm assuming, pretty shortly. As far as new business goes, it was a busy meeting, too, by the way. We didn't get out of there until 11.
I watched most of it.
Open space waiver worksheet was approved. Oh, wait. MA-BOA-2024-03 for special exception for St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church Nursery School received a unanimous favorable recommendation to the BOA with conditions of being compliant with state code. Tractor supply signage and building permits were approved with a vote of 5-1 for the new feed center and garden center. Annexation Plan 2024-46 for the Pank property of 1.3 acres to come into town as an industrial zone received a favorable recommendation with a 5-1 vote. The waiver worksheet is approved and is now currently being used. S-22-0037 for the South Side Plaza Concept Site Development Plan and Open Space Waiver were both unanimously approved. And we ran out of time before we could discuss the state's comments on our master plan. So we have a Zoom meeting set up for this Thursday, the 8th at 7 p.m., between 7 and 9, correct?
That's correct, and the link is on the website.
Our next PC meeting is Monday, August 26th at 7:30 here at Town Hall. And that concludes my July Planning Commission report.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have the Streets and Roads Commission and EDC with Councilmember Demoter.
All right, thank you. The EDC met on July 24th. The commission discussed updates from its business outreach partners, as well as planning for upcoming town events and outreach. Councilmember Galletti ran through some of the town events coming up over the next week and next month, so I won't hit those again. But a reminder, we do have Oktoberfest that'll be held on October 5th from noon to 6 p.m., and planning is ongoing for the Oktoberfest. We also received a briefing with discussions from the Planning Commission on potential new growth in Mount Airy over the next 10 years as part of preparations for the 2023 master plan. So they came and presented on the potential growth needs and opportunities, especially in the medical services and facilities sector, as part of overall commercial growth potential. More broadly, the Planning Commission was conducting outreach to the EDC to get our views on business growth opportunities and challenges. So I really applaud the Planning Commission for its outreach and this kind of cross-pollination with the EDC and with other commissions regarding the master planning process. And I think process-wise, it's really good that we kind of cross-pollinate across our commissions so that we can draw on the different perspectives and resources across our commissions. So thanks to the Planning Commission. Our next EDC meeting will be held on September 25th. Moving on to Streets and Roads, we met on July 30th. And the commission continues to field and act on citizen comments and concerns on speeding, safe driving, and roadway safety improvements. That really the main focus of our last meeting was to listen to and respond to citizens that were voicing their views on the stop sign and raised crosswalk configurations on Rising Ridge Road. So at our previous Streets and Roads meeting, citizens came and expressed their views on that. We took several actions at the previous meeting, including initiating some speed studies on Rising Ridge Road and stepping up enforcement and surveillance on Rising Ridge Road. And so at our July 30th meeting, we were able to report back to the citizens on the results of all those efforts. Additionally, the surrounding communities on Rising Ridge Road got organized. I think a citizen sent out a postcard within the community bringing up interest in this issue. As the liaison to Streets and Roads, I got about 15 emails from citizens regarding the Rising Ridge Road configuration. Most of those were very positive. And then at our July 30th meeting, the bulk of the citizens got up and expressed their positive support that the raised crosswalks and the stop signs are having the intended positive effect. So it was a very good meeting. As always, our Mount Airy Police Department was there, and they could explain the efforts that they were doing and the results that they found in terms of speed studies. The mayor attended the meeting. He gave his perspectives. And at the end of the meeting, the decision was we're going to continue to keep those traffic safety tools on Rising Ridge Road. So the raised crosswalks and stop signs will stay. We are going to what I would call optimize some of the signage, because it was brought up there's some confusing signage about speed hump 15 miles per hour ahead and that kind of thing that kind of don't jive with the other signage in the area. So there was an agreement that we're going to work towards modifying some of that signage. Perhaps something as simple as just putting a sign that says raised crosswalk ahead, and, you know, we don't need a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit sign because there's other speed limits already posted for that roadway. So I just want to emphasize, it was a great example of how things are supposed to work. You had citizens that got engaged, they did outreach, we had the police, we had our volunteers on the commission, we had the mayor, and we all worked towards, I think, a place where everybody seemed very satisfied walking away from that meeting. So I wanted to highlight that process. Different topic, we are going to hold another Safe Streets campaign promoting safe driving and driving the speed limit. This is our Slow Down for Your Hometown campaign. And again, this is a grassroots campaign. It will start this Saturday, August 10th, and it will run through Saturday, September 14th, kind of bracketing the time when our children are going to back to school, and it's the Labor Day holiday as well. So we thought it was a good time to have another campaign. So to the citizens, if you want to get engaged, if you think you have a speeding issue near your house or in your neighborhood, you can go to the website. There's a scrolling banner on the webpage that says Slow Down for Your Hometown. Click on that. There'll be a link to click, and you can ask for a sign or signs, and we will bring them out to your house and put them up, and at the end of the campaign, we'll come and get them. Or you can send us individual emails, or you can stop here at Town Hall. So we're looking forward to that campaign. That's been very well received in the past, and I think the citizens enjoy it. And I want to emphasize, you know, there is a lot of transient traffic through Mount Airy, and we certainly want to be monitoring that. And we have speeders from people coming in and going through our town. But a lot of the speeding is done by our own residents, our own neighbors. And so this is, in part, an educational campaign that's coupled with enforcement. And I just want to remind everybody, speeding is a safety and quality of life issue. So you think about all the things that we like about this town: small town atmosphere, great place to raise a family, safe, quiet neighborhoods. When we speed, we kind of chip away at the very quality of life things that we like about Mount Airy. So just a reminder, sometimes the people doing the speeding is because our fellow citizens are in a hurry to get to where they need to get to or whatever. So it's a reminder for everybody to slow down. The last item is we are working with MDOT District 7 regarding one of our crosswalks in the downtown zone. This is the crosswalk by the caboose that goes over to the rail yard. And again, working through Streets and Roads and coordinating with the mayor and getting funding through support from the council in the budget. We are working with them to request some lighted pedestrian crossing signage that we can put up at that crosswalk. And they'll be the nature of, you might have seen some of the stop signs around that have the little LED lighted red lights. It's that kind of a solar-powered sign. And the objective is to make that crosswalk more prominent, so it draws the attention of people that that's where you're supposed to cross, and it will help direct people, for example, down at Liquidity Ale Works, to notice that, and we'll have to educate people and change behavior so they walk up to that crosswalk and cross, and not try and just cross randomly at a non-crosswalk location. So that's another example of some of the things we're doing in Streets and Roads. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 24th at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have the Recycling and Sanitation Commission and Sustainability Commission with Councilmember Munder.
All right, thank you, Council President. There was no recycling and sanitation meeting this month due to members being on vacation, so the next meeting is tentatively scheduled for September 18th at 7 p.m. here in Town Hall. The Sustainability Commission is scheduled to be held this month, 8/21, 7 p.m. at Town Hall. So please check the website to see if that will still happen on that date. We'd also just like to cover a couple other things, Council President. Be quick, nothing major. Just would like to fill in the town citizens of what I've been doing a little bit this past month. The Director of Planning and the Planning Commission Chair attended a MML symposium on August 1st down in Annapolis related to housing and the various issues, so that was very informative. I also wanted to attend the Piedmont Reliability Project, also known as the Power Lines. There was a meeting held in Frederick County by their state delegation, but was unable to attend that meeting due to the fact that I was working the ticket booth at the Fireman's Carnival, which was also a very nice opportunity to see people in town. Related to the power line, I've been hearing rumors of that Carroll County maybe having a similar town hall style meeting related to the power line being proposed in Carroll, Frederick, and Baltimore County, but that will probably be later this month, first part of September, but just please keep an eye out for that. My last thing is I would like to thank various businesses here in Mount Airy for their continued support of the Mount Airy Net. I saw on Facebook that the Mount Airy Net put a call out for items because their shelves were bare this summer, and several businesses rose to the challenge and donated a lot of supplies there. So I would like to also remind the residents of Mount Airy to please support the Mount Airy Net with donations of items and or money, because the need is just not during Christmas and winter time. It's all year around. So please keep this important resource in mind when you go to the grocery store next time. Pick up a couple extra items and drop them off at the Mount Airy Net, which is located at the bottom in the basement of the Baptist Church. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Carl. Next up, we have the Water and Sewer Commission and the Commission on Aging and Livability, which is with me. The Water and Sewer Commission did not meet in July, so we will be meeting this Wednesday here at Town Hall at 7 p.m. The Commission on Aging and Livability, or COLE, met on 7/10/24, July 10th of 2024 here at Town Hall. We were lucky to have a guest, Chairman of the Parks and Rec Department, Mike Riegel, came and met with the commission to discuss possible activities for seniors. Those activities included, but were not limited to, possible pickleball leagues or a beginner's class to learn the game of pickleball as well. They discussed arts in the park to incorporate the seniors of Mount Airy and the best ways to advertise those events to get the word out, to get more people active in the community. The commission also discussed the idea of an open house for the senior center. This would allow anyone and everyone to come check it out, see what it has to offer, trying to get more people involved and at the senior center to kind of see what it has to offer. So that was also discussed, and then it will utilize, like I said, the different classes and stuff. So a lot of discussion, a good discussion was had in July. Our next meeting will be on August 14th, 7 p.m. here at Town Hall, and that will conclude our reports. No, for the council, now we'll go on to the town attorney report with Tom McCarron.
Attended the Planning Commission meeting due to the handful of issues outlined by Councilman Evans, just a handful. Also have dealt with at least one of the issues that I think are on closed session as well. And then also dealt a little bit, along with Barney, on the PFAS litigation that we're in South Carolina, providing certain information in support of our claims, basically. So that's it.
All right, thank you, Tom. And then we all have copies of our town administrator report. Anything to add, Heather? Yes, sir. All right, code enforcement report and our zoning administrator report. Everything good?
Nothing to add.
All right, perfect. Moving on in the agenda, we're now on to our new business section. First up is a road closure for Saturday, October 5th, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for Oktoberfest. The road closure will take place from Main Street, from Prospect Road to Paradise Avenue. I think we have Ms. Patrick here. Did you want to explain anything? Nope. Pretty much the same as year after year, correct? Does anyone on the council have any questions or concerns? All right, do we have a motion?
I make the motion for approval of the application by MAMSA for the closure of Mount Airy Main Street from Prospect to Paradise related to the Mount Airy Oktoberfest.
All right, I'll second. Do we have any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor of a road closure Saturday, October 5th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for MAMSA from Prospect Road to Paradise Avenue, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you. Next up, we have a bond release for approval. This is for the Brittany Manor at Twin Arch Village, Section 5, Lot 1 through 73. The PWA file number is F-18-0052. Barney, any explanation or anything further?
Everything's been completed. We had our one-year walkthrough. We identified a bunch of areas that they had to fix, and they did that. So.
Okay, so everything's satisfactory? Okay. All right, I will make a motion to approve the bond release for Brittany Manor at Twin Arch Village, Section 5, Lots 1 through 73. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Sure.
Barney, a question for you. If you go to the package, it's, I think it's the last page of the package. It's an email. And in the body of the email, it's at the very bottom. And I'll read this. This is from an email from you to Deborah Clinton, and then it was, I think it was your email to Nick Grossclose. And here's the sentence. It says, town completed a walkthrough, and it says, I will say that the community park number 2 comments are probably more related to multiple Twin Arch Business Park developments that converted the stormwater management pond and utilized the site for other purposes. And then you said, Ron, please weigh in on who should resolve making the park the way it was intended to be turned over to the town. So can you just comment what might have been going on there and how things got resolved?
Sure. So the first half of that property is what's turned over to the town. Right behind it is the stormwater management for the Twin Arch Business Park Section 4, not related to the Brittany Manor. When they came in and converted that pond, they created a berm so the water wasn't running down there while they were constructing. At that time, they still hadn't removed that berm. And then also the ones that were doing all the sidewalk work on Backacre Circle, they were utilizing that lot. They had stockpiles and they kind of pushed piles, and it just had a lot of ruts and everything. So we wanted them to clean that up first. Doug Full had come in and graded everything out, put some new topsoil, seeded it. It is ready for us to start mowing. We'll say that I need to get with Public Works on that. But otherwise, it does look good. We did an inspection on that. So.
Okay. All right, thank you.
But it wasn't at the fault of Brittany Manor. They had it all nicely graded, and then things changed after.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Just more of a thank you for the town staff. I emailed Barney earlier today, and you all should have received this response back from Barney also as a CC, that I had a question regarding if the citizens of Brittany Manor have been consulted with, the things that have been happening to make sure that everything was taken care of prior to the final bond release. And you indicated that you were in constant contact with the HOA over there and the citizens of the residents of Brittany Manor to make sure their concerns were addressed prior to the bond being released. So I just want to say thank you for working with the neighborhood and its citizens to make sure that they get what they pay for. And so does the town, so thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, right now we have a motion on the floor to approve a bond release for Brittany Manor at Twin Arch Village, Section 5, Lot 1 through 73. All in favor of this approval, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you, Barney. Next up, we have a recommendation for approval of PFAS treatment design of water stations 2 and 5. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I make the motion for the approval of the, I guess, the contract for the design of for PFAS removal, treatment design for water stations 2 and 5.
All right, I'll second. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, a couple questions. So under the discussion section of the memorandum, it says, with funding being made available this year. So these are the additional 2 grants that we applied to for WTP 2 and 5. Is that what that means?
Yeah, so of the 2 grants, this is one of the 2. So it doesn't include the mobile home park just yet.
Okay.
But it's just for stations 2 and 5.
So have we gotten an informal, what leads us to have high confidence that we're indeed going to get that grant? Have we been formally notified?
So it's not 100%. We did get from the first round, they came up with a list, kind of like they did last summer for stations 2 and 1 and 3, sorry. So we made the first round. Last time, I think we were number 42 on the list. Now we're number 12 on the list. So much higher as a priority. And it shows the full funding amount. I think it's somewhere around October, we'll know for sure that we'll have that. The benefit of this allows the engineer to, where they've already started 2 stations, start working on the other 2, kind of work them all together and put one bid package out. So we don't delay putting that bid package out, trying to get PFAS treated sooner than later for everybody. We thought we'd award this. It's, you're taking some risk, but there's still a very good, high probability that we're going to get that grant.
And I have another question. So they already did the designs for water stations 1 and 3, correct?
They're working on them.
They're
yes.
working on it. And how much do we give them for that contract or whatever?
It was a little bit less. I think it was around 230,000, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I didn't print that copy.
And my question is, if your memo says the designs will be done to match the rest of the water stations, so is there anything unique about the designs for WTP 2 and 5? I guess where I'm going with this is they've already kind of got the designs down, or maybe are close for 1 and 3. If 2 and 5 are just, if it's going to be kind of like a cookie cutter design, why is it costing us $255,000? I would think we'd get a little bit of a return on a knowledge base because they've already done it for the first 2. See what I'm saying? They're not starting from scratch. They're not sitting there going, how do we design these things? You even say we're going to do it to be identical to the other 2, so.
Yeah, and they've designed many of these types of stations, so a lot of things are cookie cutters, but you have to fit it on that site. It's still going to be a brick building. The selection of the bricks probably going to be the same, except they might match one of our stations might be a little bit different than the other, but things like that. It's based on flows as far as your tank sizes, so they have to design it. But again, a lot of those they've done many GAC systems in the past that they kind of know a flow of where the tanks go and what.
Okay, I just thought we might be getting a little savings there for already having it off the shelf. Okay, last quick question. With binding timeframes, when we might anticipate having our treatment systems eventually online? Are we talking 1 year, 3 years? What are we looking at?
So we're looking at, early 2025, having designs done, depending on permitting, how long that takes. We expect no stormwater management, which is good because all the systems are going to be small as far as, each site will be limited disturbance, so we should be able to get an exception from stormwater management. The design should be pretty straightforward, so we don't think there would be a lot of permitting time, and then we could put it out for bid. Once we award construction, I'd imagine about a year's time frame. They'll have subcontractors who can go from one site to another, and they're kind of work them all together at the same time.
I noticed you cleverly didn't say a year target. Is there like a year target that we might expect to have these online? Like,
Yeah, so we came up with spring of 2026
Okay.
is what we were looking at. And 2026 is what we've always been saying as far as having these things online.
okay. Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Just more of a comment. Again, Barney, thank you. This was one of my previous questions that I sent to you about scope of work, just I would like to see what the money included. And you, again, responded back to all of us with more than the scope of work, but the whole bid package, I believe. So thank you again. I'll read over that to make sure. But I know we're working as diligent as we can. I know there will be supply chain issues and stuff. So 2026 is, as you said, we've been indicating that forever and ever. So it is what it is on that, and hopefully it'll work out where we can get everything up online sooner rather than later. But thank you again.
Sure.
All right, any other questions? All right, hearing none, we have a motion on the table to approve the bid for PFAS treatment design of water stations 2 and 5. All in favor of this approval, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Next up is just a reminder, the September Town Council meeting has been rescheduled to Monday, September 9th, so it will take place on the second Monday of September next month. And then we are now on commission appointments and reappointments with Mayor Hushhour.
All right, thank you. Before I go through them, I know the chairman of the Ethics Commission is here, so thank you for your letter that you sent me concerning financial disclosures, and we did take care of those, but I greatly appreciate the Ethics Commission going through all those, so thanks. For this month, we're looking to reappoint, and I'll just take them one at a time. Dick Heiger is a reappointment to the Beautification Commission.
All right, do we have a motion to approve?
I make the motion to approve the reappointment of Dick Heiger to the Beautification Commission.
I'll second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving Dick Heiger or reappointing Dick Heiger to the Beautification Commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, Roxanne Hemphill, reappointment to the Board of Appeals.
Do we have a motion?
I make the motion for Roxanne Hemphill to be reappointed to the Board of Appeals.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving Roxanne Hemphill's reappointment to the Board of Appeals, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Scott Ryland, reappointment to the Board of Recreation and Parks.
I will quickly make a motion to reappoint Scott Ryland
That right away.
to the Board of Parks and Rec. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Thank you, Scott. All in favor of reappointing Scott Ryland to the Board of Parks and Rec, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And finally, Zachary Fanning, reappointment to the Streets and Roads Commission.
All right, do we have a motion?
I make the motion to reappoint Zachary Fanning to the Streets and Roads Commission.
Go ahead.
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of the reappointment of Zachary Fanning to the Streets and Roads Commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. And thank you to the volunteers. Next up, ordinances and resolutions. First up, we have Resolution 2024-4 to allow alcohol at the Mount Airy Oktoberfest, which takes place October 5th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. in downtown Mount Airy. This is for adoption. Do we have a motion?
I make the motion for approval or adoption of Resolution 2024 for the serving and consumption of alcohol during Oktoberfest on October 5th, 2024, from 11 to 8 subject to the conditions within the resolution.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving or adopting Resolution 2024-4 to allow alcohol at the Mount Airy Oktoberfest on October 5th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next up, we have ordinance 2024-21. This is a budget amendment to add $104,900 for the Rails to Trails West of Main Street project. This is for introduction. I will make a motion to introduce. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, and we will see this next month. All right. We do not have any unfinished business, so we will now move on to a closed meeting. So at this time, we'll now roll call into a closed session. At the conclusion of the closed session, the August Town Council meeting will be adjourned. Councilmember Evans?
Aye.
Councilmember Munder?
Aye.
Council Secretary Galletti?
Aye.
Councilmember Demoter?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well, and we will see you guys next month on September 9th. Thank you.